What's up, chess players? I hope you are as fired up as I am because I want to share with you the game I have played against Gotham Chess, and this game included everything: some crazy turnarounds, queen sacrifices, absolutely mind-blowing, and of course some stupid pre-moves. Well, that was mainly on my side, so you're gonna enjoy it. Let's get started. I have played as white this game. It started with d4, g6, knight f3, bishop g7, and you know what? Gotham Chess wanted to just destroy me from the very beginning of the game. He was going for a crushing attack, just intending to give me a checkmate. But well, of course, I'm not that simple to crush, so let's see what happened here. So he played knight c6, and then bishop to d7, intending to play queen to c8. And only now I have understood the plan, because normally you'd never play here bishop to d7, doesn't make any sense. You rather develop your knight, you make castles, and yeah, just the nature of development as black is always doing. And also this knight on c6 is not one of the typical ways to go on from the very beginning at least. And so after queen c8, I thought, well, Levy definitely wants to play bishop h3, then h5, h4, sacrifice the rook, and then just deliver a checkmate. And so it's a blitz game. I have just 3 minutes and I have to deal with it somehow. And I really believe in the power of the development. So I decided, okay, if he wants to crush me on the side, I need to answer in the center. That is a classical principle that works pretty much every time. So yeah, I decided to apply it. I played rook to e1, which is generally a nice way to deal against this threat, because the problem with the move bishop to h3, let's say I play bishop b2, which is, by the way, the best move, is that after bishop h3, I have no way to stop the bishop exchange. And I don't know, I really like my bishop, and I decided to stop his plans somehow, and to do that, I have played here rook to e1, after queen to c8, and after bishop h3, I played bishop h1, just saving the bishops on the board, but it didn't really stop the attack. That was the problem, because he still played h5. And now, if you carefully look at the position, you would see that black's plan is so clear, and for the blitz game, it's exactly what you need. If you take a look at the time we have spent, he still has 3 minutes on the clock. He literally didn't spend any second on his moves, and there is only 1 second increment. So literally he was making all of the moves instantly, and that makes a lot of pressure on me, because, well, I have to come up with a plan, I have to stop it somehow, I can't just ignore it forever. So, well, I decided to continue the development. I played bishop b2, but now h4, and this pawn is coming. I played knight to d2. I wanted to develop as many pieces as possible, as I thought that would keep me out of all of the troubles. Takes, takes, and now queen to f5. So this queen is just coming here, and yeah, that is very, very threatening. So what I decided to do is to play e4, queen h5, and knight to h4. And that seemed like a legitimate plan for me, because I just want to exchange the queens. Once the queens are off the board, of course, no checkmate is possible. And then, well, I feel myself much more confident. What I have completely blundered here is the fact that d4 pawn is hanging. So even if I achieves a queen's exchange, he can just take the pawn, for example, immediately here, and then yes, it's going to be an endgame, but I'm a pawn down. I mean, that's a very sad endgame to find yourself, especially if you're playing as white. And of course, I wanted to defeat it Gotham Chess, and that was a very bad situation to find myself in. So that is why knight h4 is a mistake, and the computer is suggesting just move c3. Just slowly defend this pawn, and the next move I have all of the same ideas, so that, yeah, it's still not that simple for black to deliver a checkmate. For example, if you play bishop g4, trying to pin the knight, and of course, to attack this bishop, I can just play bishop g2. And yeah, there is no real way to deliver a checkmate here. But as for white, it's also not that simple to somehow stabilize the situation and yeah, put this attack into an end. So what happened here after knight h4, Gotham played bishop queen to h7. Sorry, he really didn't want to exchange the queens. He wanted to deliver a checkmate. That was his plan. And so yeah, my attack on this queen didn't work. I didn't manage to exchange the queens, but this king is still in the center. So I decided, okay, I'm gonna go on with my attack in the center. Remember, your opponent attacks you on the side, you try to answer in the center. So I'm playing e5, I want to get to the king, and what Levy is doing, he's just making the long castles. And he's just escaping with the king, and you could see that the engine says that it's a mistake, but it doesn't matter at all when you're playing a practical game. All you see is that your opponent is attacking you. Your king is here kind of exposed, and now all of a sudden your opponent's king is completely safe. I mean, how do you even create any threats? I was, so confused here. What am I supposed to do? And also I have just 1 minute left, and that is very difficult. I've spent a lot of time to take on d6 because I wanted to open up the position somehow. And then rook takes d6. That was a mistake. I mean, I also couldn't understand why you can just take it back with a pawn, just maintaining a very solid pawn structure and then continue your attack. But Levy just wanted to add another piece into the attack. And now I have made a sequence of great moves, one by one, which leads to a completely winning position for me. So yeah, I'm pretty proud of that. So it starts with knight to e4, attacking the rook, a move with a tempo. Remember, if you want to put some pressure on your opponent, especially in the blitz game, you want to create as many threats as possible. You want to attack him with every move, and that is exactly what happened here. So this position is around equal, maybe a little bit better for white. Knight e4 is a first good move. He plays rook to d5. I'm attacking it for the second time with a pawn, c4. He plays rook h5, and at this point he was very confident with his position because he's having all of the pieces here just ready to smash me and deliver a checkmate.
Look at, oh my, have you ever seen something like this? This is sick. Look at that. Oh my god, I got the cannon going.
But what I did was to play bishop to f3, attacking this rook, once again, creating another threat.
I sack. You gotta sack, right? I mean, I'm already here. Of course, this is all I wanted. And look at this cannonball I have pointed.
So he sacrificed the rook here on h4, just getting ready to deliver this checkmate. But it's a blunder, as you could see here, according to the computer, for one very specific reason. Please try to find this video, try to pause the video for a second and find this move, because you're gonna be amazed by it. Okay, hopefully you were successful with it. The move is knight to g5. You can't take it back, because once you take it, then the king is very exposed here. There are so many dangerous threats in there. That is not what you want to do. And so I played here knight to g5, and suddenly this queen has no real squares to go.
What? Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh man. Did I mess something up?
Because h5 is covered, and at this point Gotham Chess said that,
ew, is he gonna make a draw? No, I can't let him make a draw, right? I can't let him. I have to go back. I have to sack the queen.
And of course that wasn't my intention at all. I mean, why would you think that I want to make a draw? I just want to destroy you altogether. My plan was, after queen h6, to play knight takes f7, forking the queen and the rook, and once again there is no square for the queen. He literally has no ideas at all. And then I wanted to just, I have only 23 seconds on the clock, but I still wanted to win. I would never go for a draw. I just hate draws altogether. So I wanted to take all of the rooks here somehow, I don't know, starting with maybe this rook, and yeah, here you have rook takes d4. Okay, that doesn't matter. Takes, and something like that was my plan. Yes, you still have some activity here against the king, but come on, I have so many extra materials that should be enough to win the game. So that was my plan. But it wasn't happening on the board, because after knight g5, Gotham decided to just sacrifice the queen with a move knight to d8. That is kind of amazing. I mean, you're just sacrificing the entire queen for one knight, and still it was far from over the whole game. I have just 23 seconds on the clock, so he still wants to create some pressure on me. And I decided that this bishop is absolutely essential for me, because it covers the key h1 square. As long as that is covered, I'm not afraid of anything. So I played here queen to d2. I just wanted to defend my bishop, play d5, open up the diagonal, and remember, if you have extra material, you want naturally to exchange the pieces, so that is what I'm trying to do. And of course, Levy is trying to put some pressure on me, create some threats, especially since I don't have any time on the clock. So bishop d7, opening up the the rooks here, I played d5. I thought that that is a wonderful move because I'm covering here those squares, so the knight can be developed, the bishop can go anywhere there, and I'm also developing the bishops. But he played knight f6. Of course, he tries to stop all of the exchanges. And I played here rook to e2, which is kind of stupid because I can't just grab the pawn on e7. It's for free. And yeah, I had 15 seconds. I didn't really realize that the pawn was hanging. That is the most active move, obviously. But I wanted to bring more pieces into the game. That is a general principle. And when you don't have any time, you're relying on those basic instincts, so to say, of a chess player, which is to bring all of your pieces into the game. And usually it works pretty good. So rook e2, but now bishop g4. And you remember what I said about this bishop? I never want to exchange it, although that was a mistake. If I just take it on g4, I exchange so many pieces, and this h1 check is actually just a check. I mean, it's nothing dangerous for me. Rook h1, king g2, rook h2, king f3, and there is no follow-up for black. I'm completely crushing here. And so, of course, I shouldn't have done it. That's the simplest thing I could do. Exchange everything that moves, and then, yeah, I'm just winning the game immediately. But instead, I played bishop g2. I thought, okay, I don't care about this exchange. I still have a lot of extra material, but I really desperately want to save this bishop so that those two rooks are completely useless. And that is still a legitimate strategy. I still have quite a lot of advantage, but my opponent is trying to create even more pressure here.
Oy, so bad.
And then I noticed here that I have a very cool tactical idea. I mean, this knight is hanging, and this knight is potentially a target for me. And also, I can bring my queen there to attack and attack the b7 pawn. So I exchanged here the pawn, the knight went to e6, the knight is not defending the b7 pawn, and now I took on I played queen f3 first, attacking both things. My opponent played knight to c5, which is logical. Gotham tries to defend this one, and after bishop takes f6, which is the best move in the position, I made it with 5 seconds on the clock. He plays rook to f5. And now please feel free to pause the video for a second and then find the best move for white. Okay, I hope you found it. I mean, this position is crazy. The best move, according to the engine, is bishop to h3. And I suppose if I would have made it, I would be immediately banned and would be called a cheater. Because, I mean, the bishop is just under attack, you can just take it for free. But the point is, now I'm playing rook to e8. King to d7, and now another absolutely amazing move, queen to d1. And sacrificing the rook, you can take it because of checkmate. King to c6 is the only move, and then I'm just taking this bishop on g7. Everything is perfect, no active ideas for black, and yeah, game is basically over. You can play rook h5, threatening rook h1, but that's nothing, just queen f3. Now I'm covering the square, I have an extra rook basically, so yeah. That would be very simple, but bishop h3 is just an incredible way to go here with 5 seconds on the clock. But what is much, much simpler, and I'm so stupid not to see it, is just bishop takes g7. Who cares if I lose a rook, if I get so much material for it, and here I'm basically a piece up, and there is no compensation for it. In fact, I even have 2 bishops, which is a huge, huge power, and there is no attack for black, obviously. Yeah, that is just a simple position to win. Of course, I still need to be a little bit careful not to blunder something, but I mean, even with 5 seconds, you can say, yeah, that would be pretty easy to win. And I haven't realized it. I was just focused, like, I have 5 seconds, I have queen hanging, so I have to go somewhere. And so I played bishop queen to g4, which is, yeah, a stupid move, but still, that is quite a big advantage for white up until this point. Here I made a very ridiculous move. I have no idea why I made it. With 4 seconds, I just, yeah, wanted to go forward. I saw this rook, and I don't know, it felt reasonable for me for some reason, but of course it's a stupid move because it's weakening my king. And now there is bishop to d4 check, and with 1 second I need to, constantly feel some pressure with my king now. Bishop to c3, and notice that Levy is creating those threats, and that is the key strategy to win in blitz, to constantly put pressure on your opponent. And of course, when you have just 1 second, it's so difficult to deal with all of the threats. That is why I played b4, because I had no time to realize my rook is hanging and I need to push it. I have prepared the move b4, so I had no time to change my plan. Bishop takes, And now it's still fine if I take this knight here, because this knight is a very important piece which is controlling everything. Without the knight, I'm threatening to play bishop e4, for example, because remember, the rook is still pinned. And so bishop is also hanging, you need to find the move rook to e8, and still, because the black's pieces are somewhat clumsy, I still get an advantage. But I took the bishop here. And then rook e8 check. Levy continues to create so many threats for me. Knight went to e4. I wanted just to eliminate it immediately because I was afraid of getting into some fork like knight f2 or whatever, a great number of checks. Although the right thing is, of course, step back somewhere with a king and still try to put some pressure on the opponent. Takes. Now we have the queen against two rooks, a little bit better for black according to the engine, but still, if you deliver a lot of checks, if you're active with your king, you can still succeed in this game. But something incredible happened here. My opponent thought for a while, and I have just 2 seconds. He was thinking what is the best move for him, and for some reason he played rook to e8. And while I was waiting, I have made a pre-move to play queen to h8 check, which is a natural thing when you don't have any time, just make a check. But then he was thinking about his move, and I was thinking, maybe he's gonna play rook e8 because he's anticipating my pre-move there. So I cancelled it. And then still I thought, well, I have 2 seconds, the probability that he's gonna do that is pretty low, so let me just pre-move it. And that is exactly what happened. My opponent played rook e8, I pre-moved queen to h8, blundered the queen in one move, and the game is over.
Oh! Why would you pre-move that?
So obviously I was very disappointed because I felt like I deserved the victory here with this incredible queen win there. But, well, that's life. Sometimes you just blunder and you screw the whole game. Still a very fascinating game. I hope you have enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments what you think about this game. And in this one, I'm sharing the best game that I have played in my entire life, and I guarantee you're gonna enjoy it.